This month, the topic is going to be access. We're going to be talking about all the different access that you have as a community member and as a future owner of Gratwick Productions and everything that we're building here. So, one of the goals is to make this company as transparent as possible. And when we get to a position where we can start funding artists and their projects, one of the stipulations for that is going to be that they need to be transparent and give access real-time access to the entire creative process from beginning to end of their projects.
And when you say transparent,
Yes.
what exactly do you mean? Because that could be saying that someone's not working out and you're being transparent about that by making that press release that you've relieved someone of their job, or how we've done it in the past and you want to do it full blown with Gratwick. How exactly?
Well, there's legal operations and things that a company has to do to protect its own
Intellectual property?
yeah, but mostly more it's business standing and it's company secrets, so to speak. Like if we're running KFC, total transparency can't really mean like we're going to tell you guys what the KFC recipe is every single day. That can't really be done there. Like so what total transparency means in this situation is whenever there's a creative element happening, a creative meeting, a creative production, a creative project happening, that stuff is going to be documented and most likely and preferably shared in real time, live streamed. And the focus for this week's little share on the access is live streamed auditions. Andrew, I'm going to let you lay the foundation for this and I'll chime in.
So, having been in the acting department when I first came out here, one of the things that I did notice is a lot of the auditions don't necessarily happen in a facility that would be appropriate for a casting call. It can be at someone's house, it can be at a restaurant, it can be at a park. Sometimes it's in random buildings where they just kind of got a room and you feel shadier than hell. And you're kind of alone most of the time with 1 to 2 people in the room. It can be awkward. You don't know what to expect. And I'd say 75% of the time, there's either one guy or 2 guys auditioning you. And it can feel weird. It can feel uncomfortable. And it's not even because they're putting out a vibe. It's because you're in a situation where...
It's a very vulnerable situation.
Exactly. You don't know the people. You have no obligation to them. They
but
have
you
no
need
obligation
something from
to
them,
you.
want something from them.
And they know you want something. Mm-hmm. And they know they need someone, but it isn't necessarily you, and they've seen how many different people. So there have been a lot of horror stories. Before the Me Too movement came out, there have been, it's even almost a disgusting joke about the casting
couch. It
couch.
Absolutely is a joke. Even Toy Story made casting couch jokes.
Which now they're re-editing Toy Story 2 and
you guys caught that one, huh? Yeah. We'll take that. We'll take that out.
You guys didn't like that little joke we had of the 2 dolls and the one scary doll saying, "Hey, if you want the gig, though."
Well, we were all laughing to ourselves about that as our own little inside joke, but it's not so inside anymore.
The thing is, it's been a problem for so long that the only way to take that creepiness out and to bring the security of it's a job interview. And that's literally what an audition is. Although everyone forgets it, it's a job interview. It's not just how you deliver the lines, it's how can you react with everyone else that you're going to be working with for a while. And if you feel uncomfortable the moment you walk in, or someone, for whatever reason, gives you a look that makes you feel like something might not be cool, or at one point you're going to be in a bad situation anywhere along the line, you don't need that. Like, it's so easy for so many people just to say screw it after they've given up everything to come out here and try, just because they've been put in enough crappy situations that they're giving up on what they know they can do if they're given the opportunity.
So let's move a little bit away from the negative side. Yes,
that's the current situation.
The more eyes and the more audience that's participating and watching it on a live stream, the more protection there is for everybody in the room. There can be no false claims. There can be no predatory behavior. It's a win-win for everybody. But on the entertainment side here, let's be honest about what's happening in this room and what the purpose of it is. Every single person that's coming into audition, they're a performer. Their goal is to be an actor. Their goal is to be seen. Their goal is to have a fan base, to have an audience, to hopefully get that role. But for 99.99999% of people that audition for each role, they're not going to get that role. Their performance and their opportunity to act is going to end there in the room until they have another audition. And for a large amount of people, the most performing they're ever going to do is literally in the auditions. And this is an opportunity to gain more exposure for yourself, to gain more opportunities for an audience to see you and click with your personality and your dynamic, to root for you, to see you doing auditions and like your personality and your character and your composure and hope you find that right role for you. But at the same time, it's also an opportunity for other casting directors to see you, other people to get a notice of you and to see your work and to create a reel. A lot of actors have trouble creating a reel. How am I supposed to build a reel when I'm not getting cast in anything and I don't have any shoots? Do I have to pay for my own crew and all of that to do a fake scene? Yeah, that's usually what you're going to end up having to do. But you can now add auditions to your reel if you did good at the audition and it was live streamed out there and there was a copy of it. Are there going to be people that are embarrassed and go viral? Same shit as American Idol. Everybody loves watching the flunkies audition and bail out on American Idol. Some of them will become famous for it. But let's all be honest to each other. If you're a flunky in the audition process to the point that you go viral for being so bad, you probably weren't going to be an actor anyway. So maybe you'll find out a little bit for it, or maybe you'll find out you got a different talent of being a jackass and entertaining people that way. But either way, I think there's nothing but positives and opportunities for more entertainment, more content, more engagement, more audience building, and for people to be discovered for a different role that isn't necessarily the role they were auditioning for, and who knows what kind of talent we're going to discover that way.
I also think being someone who's done the whole calling everyone back home and explaining what you're doing and what auditioning is, it's a chance for your family and friends to actually see what you're really doing. Yeah. Like, everyone has their own idea of, oh, you're auditioning. I've seen Entourage. I know what this must be like. Like, it's the realness behind it, that this is what you do when you walk in and you say hello and they ask you to slate and then you're going to start and you're going to read it again and you're going to get some directions and read it again. And
how many actors would get better just by being able to watch other actors audition all the time?
Or just being able to see what you yourself look like when you enter a room. Like, that's a thing even most acting classes out here don't do. They try and train you how to enter an audition. Like, it is the very first impression. If someone walks in stumbling or talking to someone over their shoulder, they obviously don't care that much. Like,
unless they're auditioning for Kramer.
Things. There you go. Not everyone
stumble
can be
into the room.
But that is one of the things that we're doing, and we plan on continuing doing as we go further with more productions and with our own private productions, is we would like everyone to be able to see what we're doing. There is a time a few years ago we did this where we tried ahead of everyone on live streaming the auditions, and we didn't stop the camera in between people, so everyone was able to see us. If you were there before your audition, you could log in and see other people audition beforehand. You could hear the notes we were giving each other on what we really liked about someone, about if they could have said it like this. Yeah. And it gives you a heads up to know what is expected, what people want after they've heard multiple things. Because at the beginning of the day, you think you want something, but after you've heard 12 people say it, you realize maybe it needs to be delivered a little differently, and it's almost better to come at the end of the day.
You know what else goes away? You know what else goes away as well? All the cruel little comments that the casting directors and assistant directors make in the audition room. Oh, you'd be perfect for the role if you only lost 5 more pounds.
We're looking for someone less ethnic. Less ethnic, but your character description didn't say any ethnicity whatsoever. Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of off-the-cuff comments that are completely and utterly inappropriate that get mentioned in a casting call, and it has nothing to do with sexual behavior.
And there are a lot of times where the person who's doing the casting isn't necessarily the director who's going to make the final decision. They make the first cut through, which also means the casting director could have blown it entirely, and there could have been someone amazing who they personally just didn't feel it for. by doing live auditions also gives a chance for other creators or the actual creator who's going to be shooting it to take a look again. It doesn't all have to be up to someone else's decision. And if you get enough views, whoever is running the show is probably going to double check on that audition just to go, who the heck is getting all the views?